Good job.
Bluff City Media presents the No Bluffing Podcast. Stepping up to the microphone are your hosts, Christian Ingram and Evan Hayes. Now, let's get to the show.
Grizz Nation, what it do? Chris finna be here in like 5 seconds, but here y'all go. Welcome to the No Bluffing Podcast, where we keep it all the way real, all the way raw, and all the way uncut. I am Evan Hayes. My boy Chris Ingram is right there. And how y'all doing? Welcome to no surprise, y'all. No, it ain't a solo show today. Chris in here. We try to try something new with our little intro because our intro be tweaking. But we here. Welcome to the Bluffing Podcast. We got a good episode waiting for y'all. Got a lot of things to talk about. Obviously, the NBA playoffs. Obviously, some All NBA teams come out, so we can get into everything. But first things first, we gotta get around check in. Chris, I know you had a hectic day. It's kind of late. We still gonna do it regardless. How you doing?
My dog, what's going on, man? Yeah, we still trying to figure this whole whatever stream y'all doing to me. It's only doing it to me. It ain't doing it to nobody on Bluff City Media. So I don't know what it is. I don't know if that's a sign. I don't know if Kenny trying to kick me out. It is what it is, man.
Too many F-bombs, bro. Too many F-bombs. You dropping too many F-bombs, and that's why they're trying to keep us.
Man, that's cap because Sang dropped them junks like it's freaking candy on his show.
That's true.
I got a 2 per month quota for me, so I already made my quota. Yeah. I'm done. But it's all good, bro. I had a great week. I'm excited. Like I said, get back in school next week, so I'm gearing up, getting prepared for that. Some good basketball going on. That I ain't got no complaints, bro. No complaints at all my way. What's going on with you, my guy?
Like I said, I start school tomorrow. So getting back into the groove, even though it's online summer, so it ain't gonna be that serious. But just applying to jobs. I got some things I can't announce it yet, but I got some things working to work media wise that think I'm gonna get excited about. But I want to announce it when that's like done. I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch. But other than that, just enjoying being home. I'm gotten used to being home again. Now I'm just ready just to just be home and enjoy my summer while I getting back to working out, getting back to regularly working and all that. So I gave myself a few weeks. Now I'm, trying to get to it, trying to get back to the grind. So I'm feeling good, dog. Ready to talk some basketball with you, boy. A lot of things to talk about. It's gonna be a good one. Let's try not to hit my microphone, Evan. So yeah.
For sure, for sure. We got a new feature that's also StreamYard brought out, so it's kind of like the streaming thing with the Twitches and all that. So y'all should be able to see y'all comments as they come in. Down on the bottom right side, we're gonna kind of mess with that so everybody can see the comments as they come, not just us, but obviously the ones that we are going to, talk about, we'll bring to the forefront. Like my guy right here, King Meeks, man, we appreciate you, brother. If you at work, we appreciate you kicking it with us. If you ain't at work, man, we appreciate you coming through and messing with us. And like he said, man, smack that like button, that subscribe button if y'all haven't already. Bro, Bluff City Media has taken off, bro. I think we was at like 3,000, maybe at the start of the season, maybe 3.5. And you look up, I mean, the season is still going, the NBA season anyway. It's still going and already just hit over 20,000, man. So let me make sure I go ahead and do my due diligence and giving everybody over at Bluff City Media just a real hand clap. Hey, we got something for everybody. Any kind of show you want, you can come over here and get it. It ain't just the Grizzlies. We got a bunch going on. Shout out to Brandon, man. He said he is an OKC fan, but he is coming through, chopping up, bro. We appreciate you coming through, man. If you can share it as well, to your fandom, we appreciate that. We definitely like to talk all NBA over here. And we're gonna touch on that question. Matter of fact, here in just a second, so don't go nowhere. I want to definitely get into that. Can you meet Bluff City Media? Hey, bro, we love you. You tap into every single show. So we gotta show you support back.
Consistency. All that,
and my dog AD is in with it. Him and his lady on his profile picture doing it big with the fresh, cool, soft stuff picture on the profile picture. My guy JD, we appreciate you, bro, for real.
Yes,
always. But yeah, man. Hey, the No Bluffing News is back this week. I know we run through it a lot because we be having a lot going on, a lot to talk about and get to. But it's really only one topic for us to get to, and really in regards to the Grizzlies this week. So we're gonna actually go ahead and go right to the No Bluffing News. It's back this week. Thank God. Got some good topics to talk about. So y'all don't go nowhere. We're gonna go ahead and jump into that, man. No Bluffing News is here. So number one, we're gonna start off with this. For the Memphis people, University of Memphis fans, I probably wouldn't call myself that. I don't know about you, Evan, but I support the University of Memphis for sure.
Yeah, sure.
But we got news today that PJ Haggerty has committed to Kansas State. He will be, in a weird way, doing a trade in a sense. I think it was this is Doug McDaniel was coming here from K-State. He's going up to K-State from here. Yeah, but he's just getting less money than he would have got by staying here. So
yes, he is.
It is what it is. What's your thoughts on that situation, bro? I don't have a whole lot, but I definitely want to kind of hear from you how you feel about it.
Well, yeah, unlike you, I am a fan. Even though I don't go to school at University of Memphis, I'll always be a fan of the Memphis Tigers. So as from a basketball perspective, it sucks All-American leaving. But I feel like it's just a product to what the current day NIL market is like. It's not so much about your draft stock and what school compare you to the draft stock, because of course PJ Haggerty did go to the NBA Combine and they told him what they told him. So he's back and he's going to K-State. So of course you hate to lose a guy like that. But I feel like the Memphis will be just fine. Doug McDaniel, we just got Curtis Givens to side, so we loaded up that guard rotation. Of course, it's hard to replicate an All-American production, but you have a lot of solid guys around him. You can kind of make up that difference. So all the best to PJ. I wish you could have stayed around, but this is just a lesson on getting your home cooking when it's good, because a lot of things about his dad was in his ear about what he should and shouldn't do. He got some bad movie from his agent. Like, there's a lot of stuff, but he lost out on money. He's gonna play on the worst team. He's gonna get beat up in the Big 12. So the grass ain't always greener. That's all I gotta say. But again, shout out PJ. You did your thing while you was here, and hope nothing but the best for your dog.
Yeah, I'm one of them dudes, like we talked about it before, so I won't rehash it too much, but I joke about it with Kenny and saying them about like us having the AAC All-Stars and hyping up these dudes in the AAC that just, they cool, but like,
yeah,
none of these dudes have come over the last couple of years I've been excited about in regards to like, oh, we got some real NBA talent. I haven't been able to say that about nobody, and it's proven like which one of these penny guys outside of maybe his first class that he brought in, like he had NBA players in that class, but since then, like it's been nobody, I don't think.
No, Precious too.
Well, he was first class.
Yeah,
He's
Pressure
first
Tool was first
class.
class. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, that's the
Wiseman,
first
Lester.
class. Yeah, Wiseman, Prish. Yep, Lester. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it. From
Damian Ball,
top
I think he got like a 10-day, and he actually was doing pretty well recently with somebody. But
he played for Charlotte.
Yeah.
So but he transferred out of here. He went to TCU. So he was only here for a year. So we can't really claim him because he didn't finish his college career here. Boogie Ellis, he's on a bit somewhere, but again, he transferred out too. Kendrick Davis, he's overseas. Tyler Harris overseas. Alo
he getting a bad shake, bro. I think Kendrick need to get a shot somewhere.
Yeah, KD. I would love KD. Imani Bates was there. He transferred out too. He went to Eastern Michigan, and he's on the Cavs.
I give you that one.
But again, Penny recruited, but he didn't finish here. But yeah, I think KD should definitely. That's also a question for y'all in the comments. For all Tigers fans, who do you think had a better career, Kendrick Davis or PJ Haggerty? Or at least who was better in their 1 year as a Tigers? I feel like that's a good question. Of course, PJ was an All-American, but KD had one of the greatest years of Tiger. We won the tournament with him. So, I want y'all to see KD or PJ. Who y'all got?
I think I put it like this. I think if both of them came back to the city on a flight right now, in the city, I think KD will get way more love than PJ. And the funny part about it, like they had. Don't give me the line on the success because I barely watched them do this year. But anyway, yeah, bro. Hey, it is what it is, PJ. You did what you had to do, I guess, in a sense. I didn't think it was smart to go into the draft anyway. Like, you had a great season in the AAC 2 years in a row, but it's the AAC. Like, you didn't dominate, and you didn't really have a great showing in the tournament. So it's just one of them things where, hey, you got to do what you got to do. Memphis pulled their offer. Got to put your grown man breeches on and handle business, I guess. So I ain't got too much on it. Like you said, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Peace out, homie.
I just thought it was funny that South said PJ can go 4 for 22 in the round 1 of the Big 12 tournament. I just thought that was kind of funny. that was funny. King Meese, he's saying PJ, but he's also giving KD his credit. I personally say KD. That's just my personal opinion. Just I feel like his game kind of translates to like the Memphis style of basketball a little bit better. Not taking that away from PJ Haggerty. He was a great player here, but I would personally say KD, but it was definitely close.
He related with the city more. He was in the city, I feel like, more involved, like with things that was going on. He got the ties with players on the Grizzlies, and I think he even said he had a workout or a talk with the franchise about potentially coming on that kind of hurt him that didn't go through. So yeah, man, give me KD all day. I rock with that dude. I wish he had another year before he had to get up out of here, but it is what it is. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. We got all NBA awards. Actually, no, we're gonna leave that one last. That's gonna actually go into our main topic of the day. Let me start with the Thunder. The Thunder go up 3-1 on the T-Wolves. We're gonna talk about this and the Eastern Conference before we move on to like I said, some Grizzlies talk. This game was fresh. It just went off. The Thunder were able to pull it out at the end. The T-Wolves just kind of put their foot on the gas a little bit, way too late. Ant had I'm just going to say he had a terrible game. I looked up at one point, I want to say it was like third quarter, dude had 6 points. I said, oh, yeah, he ain't serious. Like, people talk about, I'm sorry, I'm not talking about Grizzlies too much right now, and I'm going to go and pass it to you, bro, but like, just to go back to the same conversation we had last week, y'all talk all this stuff. Is it past 10 minutes? Shout out to Saint for putting me on. It's past 10 minutes. Y'all talk all that shit about these players in the league being better and passing Ja and all this. I promise you this. Ja Morant is doing better than 16 points in a must-win game like that. I guarantee in a game like that, he's having more than 6 points at halftime. Like, that is insane, bro. So y'all have at it. Y'all do with that as you will. Evan, what you got on the game, Brandon? On the series as a whole, pretty much.
Yeah, OKC has proved me wrong. I had doubts about OKC the whole year, and I can't remember, I think his name was Brandon, the comments, he said, pull up his comment when you get a chance. I want to shout him out. I feel like OKC is positioning himself to win the chip. Yeah, shout out Brandon. They just play ball the right way, and everyone on their roster can go get it at a certain time. Like, yeah, Shea had 40, but Jalen Williams hit a lot of big shots down the streets. Like, he hit a lot of big shots to keep Minnesota at bay, because then like the fourth quarter, Ant was getting hot, or then he didn't get hot. He hit a few big shots. Dempsey, DiVincenzo, the kid Alexander Warren, they were all doing their part, but just OKC just did exactly what they could to keep them at bay and get a W. So I think since OKC won this game, I think they're gonna win it in 6. I wouldn't be surprised if Minnesota wins Game 5 just for the pride, but it seems like OKC is gonna go to the finals, and right now they're the favorites. So I'm not on the bandwagon because I still don't like OKC, but as a basketball fan, I'm fully behind them being the favorites to win the championship. So it's been interesting. Shea, I'm still not a believer, but he's a hooper. Like, he had 40 at night. Like, no matter how many free throws, 40 points still 40 points in the playoff game. And any guy that was guarding him, he was giving him work. So
Thanks.
you can't really be too mad. So shout out OKC, shout out all the OKC fans. Look like y'all are 5 wins away of getting the chip. So five down. How many games y'all get it done? Because right now y'all my favorite right now. So
yeah,
y'all prove me wrong.
I'm with you. Hey, Brandon, congratulations. I'm gonna let you know before the rest of the world does. Yeah, y'all gonna get this thing. And barring something catastrophic, obviously, let's knock on wood, because I want to see a good finals. I don't want to see no excuses, no injuries, none of that. I got really upset last night when Aaron Naismith, we're gonna talk about the East here in a second, went out that game with an ankle injury, but luckily he was able to come back. So we'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, bro, I think y'all got it. I think y'all gonna get this first chip. You got your MVP. Might as well go ahead and finish it off. Basically, from what the statistics say, is the best defensive team we've seen probably ever in the history of the game, which is wild to say. But I was looking this up. You know how we've been talking about the Grizzlies need to mirror, or at least I know me and you need to mirror OKC in regards to roster construction, right? And we talk about, we got to get these big long wings, and they got to be 6'7", 6'8", 6'9". Now, I do think this is cap. But if you go on ESPN's roster and you go look at the heights of these dudes on OKC, bro, it say Jalen Williams 6'5". It say Aaron Wiggins who ain't getting no. It say Aaron Wiggins that didn't get no tick tonight, basically, which is kind of weird. I want to get your opinion on that. 6'5". Yeah. They say Isaiah Joe is 6'3". That don't make sense to me. And it say Casey Wallace 6'3". I said, if Casey Wallace 6'3", I can see that. But him and Isaiah Joe is not the same height.
They're not the same height. Nah.
Yeah, I got to go to another site. But I just thought that was funny that basically these big long wings that we feel like we need, they saying that OKC got basically 6'5" and down. I think Caruso was like 6'3", 6'4" listed on there. So I know that's cap. I know the wingspans probably make them look taller than what they are. But to say they 6'4", 6'5", all them dudes, I don't believe that. Because you tell me, I think they said Desmond Bain was 6'5", 6'6" when he got drafted. And on the court, he looks all of 6'3" when he's out there dribbling the ball off his league. So anyway, I just thought that was interesting, bro, to bring that into it. Anything else on the series, bro?
Nah, bro. Like, Ant, you got to be better. He was 1 for 7 from 3 tonight. I'm sorry, bro. Like, you got to be better. And I'm an Ant Edwards fan, but your team needed you most, as the Avatar say. You vanished. Right. Like, it was really like, it was supporting cast because Drew Durant only had 5 points. Mike Conley, even though he's not a star player, like, the people that kept him in the game was Nikhil Alexander Walker with 23, Justin DiVincenzo with 21, Nas Reed with 11. Like, the guys that you aren't depending on to be the game changers or keep y'all in the game. So if I'm a Minnesota fan, I'm happy. Well, I'm a very small percentage happy that like we stayed in the game with Ant had such a bad game, but Ant also had a good game a few games ago. Y'all still lost. So like I don't really know. OKC just knows how to win games down the stretch. So
bro, Ant get 20 points.
Yeah, he does.
That's the crazy part. Like 20, you can't get 20, bro.
You can't get 4 more points game.
Somebody just said that JD, he said that if Ant don't start well, it seems like he just kind of check out. And you can't be like that, bro. Like, I think last night, we're going to talk about it in a second, Cat had a terrible game for 3 quarters, went in the 4th quarter and balled out. Like, you got to do that as the guy. And so, I don't know, man. I don't know. But we'll get up off the Western Conference. They got one more game. I think it's Wednesday back in OKC. Go ahead, sweep it up, get it out, get some rest, and get ready for them Pacers, man. We're going to go ahead and talk about them now. The Pacers did go up 2-1 last night on the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals. Well, I guess they actually didn't go up 2-1. They was already up 2-0 and gave up a game.
Yeah.
Catastrophic just fall off. Was up 20 points.
Dang, bro.
Was celebrating, was yelling, screaming, cussing, doing everything they needed to do, and got walked down, bro. Like Cat just walked them folks down in the most sassy way. Like getting walked down, like it's like getting pimp slapped by a dude with pumps on. Like I ain't calling Cat that, but I'm just saying, like he just did it so sassily. But it was so effective and so cold.
That's what you're saying.
Bro. No, like, golly, the passes, Cat gets the respect because he just, he balled out. Yeah. It ain't crazy. But what you got on this? What you got on the series, bro? What's going on over there? And do you feel like they're gonna go ahead and just gentleman sweep them at this point? What you think?
Honestly, number one, I have to shout out this series for being more competitive than OKC and Minnesota, at least more entertaining. Because honestly, before the conference final started, I thought the Minnesota and OKC series was going to be the more entertaining series, and it's been completely flip-flopped. So I have to shout out Indiana and New York for just playing good competitive basketball all 3 games so far. But honestly, I think Indiana's going to win in 7, but I still wouldn't be surprised if the Knicks pull this out. Because being that the Indiana got out so good, and Knicks was just systematically was able to break them down. And Jalen Brunson was on the bench a lot of the fourth quarter. That's a lot of guys weren't talking about. Jalen Brunson was in foul trouble early in the second half. The fact that they were able to do that, it's not a dub. And Cat proving his worth at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if New York pulls it out. Because think about it, Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby have both been having pretty bad series. Like neither of them have been shooting well. If you look at the numbers, and they got a game with Jalen Brunson on the bench half the time because of foul trouble. OG Anunoby and Mikal not playing well. You basically had Cat and Josh Hart and Mitchell Robinson and Deuce McBride kind of willing you to a W in Indiana. If you get at least 2 of those guys that I mentioned that aren't on to be on, we have a competitive series. So honestly, I got Indiana in 7, but I would not be surprised at all. Especially the Knicks win tomorrow night. If Knicks win tomorrow night, I could definitely see them winning this in 7, honestly. So I don't think this series is over no stretch of the match, because I feel like New York has figured out the formula to. Because why Indiana is so good is because they have so many guys that can beat you in different ways. Because they play, like Kenny said it best, they play like a very organized AAU chaos basketball. Mm-hmm. They press. They get up and down really fast. They throw lobs and shoot threes. Like they play like a very organized. They strive off of chaos. In that second half, New York slowed the game down. They got the ball to their money makers. And you saw what happened. So if that's the formula, I'm not against it. So I'm very compelled to see what happens in Game 4, because I don't think the series is. I think it's far from over.
Yeah. Y'all let us know if y'all hear any technical difficulties on y'all end. I'm getting some kind of crazy feedback, so y'all let me know if everything's clear on y'all end.
And I don't hear myself right now, and I'm lagging. So like, y'all let us know how it sounds on y'all end, because I think maybe like one of our Wi-Fi is messed up or something.
For sure. Shout out to Shamaria. She said rooting for the Pacers, but OKC got it for sure.
Shamaria.
That's gonna be a great series. I'm actually with you, Shamari. I think that Indiana's gonna go ahead and pull it out. They let their foot off the gas, bro. I'm not gonna say Aaron Naismith going out, or Naismith, how you pronounce his name. It definitely affected them a little bit for sure. But I think they got that team figured out, bro. They were looking literally defeated as hell. The Knicks were. And it's kind of the same thing that I've always thought about Jalen Brunson since he's got traded to New York. To me, he's not a winning basketball player. Like he gets in that same box. For me personally, as a Luka, as you know, maybe a Trae Young to a certain degree. Trae haven't maybe had the talent around him as he did when he made that conference finals run. But like those guys that, they can go fill it up, bro. They can put points on the board. They're going to wow you with efficiency in a lot of different games. But when it come down to it, that just selfish ass way of playing, bro. Like it's never been attractive to me in a basketball sense. There was a big problem that I had with him when he went out to FIBA. Like you notice when Halliburton, which they didn't do it a lot, but when Halliburton was out there with them guys and FIBA, like they looked way better. But for whatever reason, whatever politics was on the board, you know, they just kept starting Brunson. It slowed down ball. It's very just boring to watch, I'll be honest. And I was listening to Jeff T. He was talking about how literally the dude will sit there and dribble the ball for like 18 seconds and just like throw a grenade out and just say, hey, somebody else, y'all shoot it. You know what I'm saying? I done got about 10 picks. I ain't got the shot that I like yet. So here, you go do it. And now somebody's shooting a three. So like it's just, that's not winning basketball. And I think if you bait him into continuing to play like that, them not playing through Cat, who basically saved them yesterday, is a mistake. He's been the all-NBA guy for his whole career. He's been the all-star. He's been the guy setting all kind of NBA records as a 7-footer. You play through that guy. You don't Brunson, you good, but he's the guy that y'all should be playing through and playing off. So for that reason, I think if the Pacers continue to bait them into that and keep playing the way that they played up until that collapse, man, I think it's gonna go ahead and get washed out. They'll go ahead and move past it. But we'll see.
You say Pacers at 5? That's what you're saying?
Screw it. Let's roll. They're gonna get this next one tomorrow.
Pacers at 5?
And then they're gonna go ahead, go back to Indiana and close it out one game with, I think. Pops get to come back to the suite. Yeah, they gonna close it out. Pops back in the building. Yeah, man. Get them folks up out of there. Crazy. I mean, I'm cool to being wrong. Y'all know that. I ain't one of those people that gotta be right about everything. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But just the way that they ain't ready. And if they want to send us one of them wings in the offseason, they can do that too. I ain't mad at that.
We'll take it.
After they lose. Yeah, man. Appreciate you, King Meek, saying that we are clear on that. Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, man. So that's all we got on that. We can really pretty much be done with the news because I ain't gonna, we'll get right to the all NBA talk. We ain't got to stay too long on the naming the list off and things like that, because obviously we don't care about them dudes. They got their money, they got their rewards, accolades. It is what it is. So we'll go ahead and kill the news at this point and move on to the main crux of the show. Let's talk a little all NBA. First, we'll kind of set the table with the names of the guys that made it. So I just kind of pop it off like this. The all NBA first team, y'all already seen this. It came out on Friday. But all NBA first team, we got Donovan Mitchell, Jason Tatum, Gilders-Alexander, Nikola Jokic, and Giannis Antetokounmpo. God dang, these names in the first team, boy. Second team, we got Jalen Brunson, selfish ass, Steph Curry, Anthony Edwards, LeBron James, Evan Mobley. And then third team, we got first time McKay Cunningham, Tyrese Halliburton, James Harden, Cat, and Jalen Williams, the one with the braids, but I feel like both of them got braids or dreads, whatever. The one that look like a bug, man, bug man. So those were the 15 guys named to the all NBA team on Friday. As y'all know, it was a lot of financial ramifications that came with that list. A lot of Grizzly fans for sure was waiting to see how our future was going to pretty much get set up, at least in this summer. And so with that, before we talk about Jaren and his situation, is there any guys on that list that you feel were placed on there incorrectly? And then do you have any guys that got snubbed that you feel like should have been on at least one of them teams? And I know the 65-game rule, changes up a lot of things, but anybody you got for any one of those, categories snub or shouldn't have been there?
No, I honestly don't have a lot of issues with the All-NBA teams this year. Usually I do. The only guy, of course, like you said, Jalen Williams. Maybe I just didn't watch enough OKC this year. I don't feel like he's a top 15 player in the NBA because that's what the All-NBA is saying. Like he's the 15th best player in the NBA. And he got more votes than James Harden, which I thought is kind of crazy. Not saying he shouldn't have been there, but out of all people, I don't think James Harden should have had the least amount of votes for someone that got on the All-NBA team. First team I agree with, probably the 5 best guys in the league this year. The fact that LeBron James has 21 All-NBAs, crazy. That's GOAT. I got to shout out Cade Cunningham. The fact that Cade Cunningham made an All-NBA team in his 4th season. I feel like that's amazing for him. But Jalen Williams, I just don't see Jalen Williams being a top 15 player, man. I genuinely, what can you say? Evan is, I can't see what he said, but I just don't think so. So I would say Jalen Williams probably shouldn't have been there. I feel like either Sengun or Jaren could have got that third spot. I understand why Jaren didn't get it because the second half of the season was good. The Grizzlies fell off, but the fact that the Rockets were the number 2 seed in the Western Conference, Sengun was arguably the best player on that team, arguably not arguably. I would have gave it to Sengun personally. I get the whole 65 game rule, but that's my only like core. It's not a big core because Jalen Williams did have a good year, but that's the only one that I'm kind of like, kind of shaky on. So, what about you? How do you feel like?
Yeah, that Jalen Williams thing is kind of is iffy to me because I feel like, and again, we're going to talk about it with Jaren. I feel like sometimes we put guys in conversations they don't belong in, and I think this is a prime example of that. Like, if you want to give him All-Star, all right, great. You know, he was one of the top 24 players in the NBA this year. I can go with that. You know, I'm not against that at all. His team is first, you know, in the entire league as far as wins. You know, generational defense. I get all that. So him being an all-star, I'm not mad at that at all. When it comes to like the whole thing with the all NBA, that's different. Like all NBA, that's like you said, Evan, we're talking top 15 players in the entire NBA. And for him to get that award, I don't know, bro. I'm not there. I'm not there yet at all. And that's why, like, I understand the whole thing with the 65 game rule. I understand the purpose. I understand what you're trying to accomplish as a league. You don't want to, you know, give guys an MVP award for playing 30 games or 40 games. Like, that is crazy. I understand that. But they got to come up with something, bro. Like, you got to lower that 60, maybe even 55. Like, in this day and age, I know, you know, we got the whole, you know, tanking thing. We have the whole, what do they call it? What do they call it? What do they call it? The resting. I can't think of it. Golly. Some management. Anyway, y'all help me out in the comments. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. That whole thing is just so weird to me. Like, if you got it at 65, bro, go on, knock it down to 50, 55. Because most players, with everything going on, it's just at this day and age, you're playing back to back so much. Every other night you're having games. The way of the world is that these guys are going to sit games. So taking money out of their pocket at the end of the day, I get you trying to up the competition, but then you get these type of situations where guys that probably don't belong in these conversations are in it. And that's where we are with this whole Jaren Jackson thing. So I don't really have, like I said, anybody that got snubbed per se, in my mind, but he definitely should have been on there. I'm sorry, bro. I'm just not there. I'm with you. I think I think your audio is better now.
Yeah, I tried. Y'all let me know. I tried to finagle some things, so I think I sound clear to myself. Yeah, I don't know for sure. So
you in the game.
it sounds better. King Meeks, let me. Chris said I sound good. King Meeks, how do I sound right now?
Low management. That's what it was, King Meeks.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, bro. I couldn't get that on. I was like, hold on, I know something. Why is it not coming to me?
Yeah.
But yeah, that leads us into this conversation. As a Grizzly fan, we've been waiting for weeks, or most people have been waiting for weeks. A lot of us kind of knew, probably before the season was over, that this was a foregone conclusion that Jerry wasn't gonna make All NBA. Just the downward trend after the All-Star break, it wasn't there. It just wasn't there. And so with that, obviously, I think, like you said, he was him. And Sengun were like the ones right left off of it. Do with that what you may. But yeah, it just is what it is, bro. You can't get rewarded for an all NBA season when you only play up to that level to a certain extent the first half of the year. And so with that, the $345 million contract at 5 years that would have been on the table had he gotten that, which a lot of us were feeling like that would be a terrible deal for the Grizzlies just because the value and roster construction moving forward. We don't have to argue about that no more. It is what it is. But I want to get your take on it and your thoughts on the situation with now going into the season. We talked about at the trade deadline that the whole unload Marcus Smart and the pick just to get off that contract at the deadline, it was a waste of a move. It was a waste of time, and you probably could have used him in the playoffs. Well, because of that contract being off the books, as well as Marvin Bagley, Luke Kennard, Santi Aldama, all of these free agents that have gone off the books for the summer, the Grizzlies now have the ability to actually renegotiate with him this summer to bump that contract up right now. And then if they want to extend on top of that, they do have that ability. So if you want to give some hindsight to it, okay, that should not have been the idea at that time, but it's where we are now. What's your thoughts, bro? Like, do you think that Jaren, do you think that this summer he goes ahead and gets that re-up, he locks it in, or do you feel like he's going to wait, play out this season, see what happens, and then decide to either renegotiate next summer or get pissed off and just at that point when it's all said and done, either walk or ask for a trade? Like, what are your thoughts with this situation? Because there's a lot of possibilities. So where you at with it?
It's definitely a lot of possibilities. And I personally think, I was talking to my dad about this the other day when the news first broke. I personally think he's going to wait out this season and just kind of bet on himself, because I doubt he wants to sign a contract where he lost out on $200 million from a 150 to a 345. Like, that's a lot of money to lose out on. Like, of course, I didn't want to pay Jaren that much, but as a black man, I can appreciate a black man trying to get his money. So
I don't appreciate no black man scamming, bro. I'm sorry. I ain't with you on that one.
That is fact. That's fact. No, that is fact.
You black scammers, you get the hell out my face, bro. Oh, shit.
Oh, bro,
I'm fool with you as a black scam. You come on me talking all that, all support a black business, man. You get your ass out my face, bro. Don't scam me, bro.
Oh my gosh. Okay. It's late.
My bad, dog.
Chris on time, y'all. I'm tired. Chris trying to make me trip out. Anyway, I feel like he's gonna wait out this year. I feel like he's gonna bet on himself and try to get to maximize his deal next year. He maybe want to test the market if we underperform again, because of course I would hate for James Jackson Jr. to just walk away in free agency. But if we have another underperforming year, that is one reality we may have to just entertain, because Ja Morant's going to year 7. Jaren Jackson Jr. is going to year 8. Desmond going to year 6. Our core, as we can see with everyone else around the league, they are right at the prime age to be able to contend. So if we're constantly not performing and these contract situations come up, we have to think about the possibility of these guys wanting out because we're not meeting expectations. So in the long term of things, I think this is a great move, being that Jaren didn't get the money, because I feel like this frees up a lot of cap space for what he will do. But if I could bet money, I feel like he's gonna wait and try to get as much money as possible. And he also knows this summer that we need some more roster construction. So he's trying to free up as much room he can this summer to make those moves. Because I feel like Jaren wants to stay in Memphis. He wants to play and bring a champion to the city. I have no doubt in my mind with any of the core three. So let's just say all the core three is here next year. I bet they're gonna try to do as best as they can to make the moves around them to propel us next year. And Jaren signing an extension this summer does not help that cause. So I don't see the positives do not outweigh the negatives of Jaren signing this year compared to waiting a whole nother year and trying to maximize his money. Then being that we are very far away from contending for what we see in the hierarchy of the playoffs right now. So I think Jaren will wait and try to get his money up next year.
Yeah. I think if I was his agent, I put like this. I don't know what he's going to do. Put your business hat on. Yeah, if I was his agent, I would go ahead and take that renegotiation this summer and extend this summer. Reason being, like, King makes you crazy.
I'm gonna put that right there. You can keep talking so much out to see that coming, because King Meek's hilarious.
Yeah, man, he bet not. He bet not.
I would. Ooh.
Right. But I'll say this. I feel like, and shout out to Daniel Greer. I think I was listening to what's his name, Keith Parrish on his show, he talked about this as well. That ideally, if Jaren took up the available cap space this summer to renegotiate, he could bump up his deal another like $7 to $8 million. He's at 23 million because it was on a declining deal. So we'll go to about 30 million-ish dollars this current season or next season. And then on top of that, go ahead and re-sign a 4-year deal. So basically, it would be a fresh 5-year deal. It's just he'll be doing it a year early because he got a renegotiation, got basically a pay raise this coming summer. And with that, I think it was like 195 over 4 years. So you're looking at a little bit less than 50 mil a season. I think that's a fair contract for dude. When you look at it, 5 years, basically 225. I think that's fair for the production that Jaren has given. And if he want to agree to that, cool. Like, people can say all they want, and that's the reason. Like, we were having these conversations, and I'm tired of really talking about it. I don't really engage with this conversation no more. It's laughable, and there's a lot of people trying to sit here and pit. You know, they're trying to blame Jaren's pitfalls or his fall off this season or the second half of the season. They're trying to blame it on Ja, and I think that's real nasty of y'all. First of all, because OKC wouldn't do that shit with Shea and Jalen Williams. Like, Shea's the guy. You know, he has no bearings on what Jalen Williams does. That's on Jalen to handle. Same thing with Ant and Randall up in Minnesota. Like, everybody knows who the guy is. And I don't know what happened. Like, yes, Jaren was playing well this season, but it was never a question of whose team this was. It shouldn't have been. To a logical NBA fan, screw Grizzly fan, the logical NBA fan knew all along it was never in doubt this was Ja Morant's team. You saw the offense change. You saw the ball get out of his hands. And it is what it is. You know, people was happy we was winning games against sorry teams. And we saw what happened when the league figured out the offense and started to double team Jaren. He was like a deer in headlights. He had no clue what to do with that. And so, y'all stop that shit. Like, stop, bro. We know who team this is. It's Ja's team, and we're not going to blame Ja on Jaren's downfalls, just like we're not going to blame Jaren for any of Ja's downfalls. Like, Jaren can't make Ja get a consistent jump shot every single night. He can't do that. That's not his fault if he don't come back next season with that. So stop doing it, then vice versa. Like, these grown men, they basketball players that are making millions of dollars. We ain't got to do no infighting. Like, let's just be logical and objective when it comes to that. That's just kind of crazy as hell to me. But to get back on track, talking about that, like, I think that's very fair as far as if you're going to keep him moving forward, because that still gives you the flexibility to go out there and technically get a 1B, 1A, however you look at Ja, or a clear number 2. Jaren's going to have to be way more consistent and step up in crucial moments and crucial games before I consider him to be a number 2. I saw somewhere like he's averaging like 15 points and 7 rebounds in the playoffs for his career. No, bro, you don't get 300 million from me with that. I don't care what you do in the regular season. I don't care about the 2 All-Stars, the DPO. I don't care about none of that. When your playoff success is that, or your playoff resume is that, and it's 100% not leading to wins, because this group only has one playoff series win in their entire existence at this point, that's not enough, bro. And so, you know, if that is the conversation, I think that deal gets done immediately. They go ahead and lock that in because, you know, injuries happen. And if you risk something happening next year, knock on wood, you can kiss that deal goodbye. You're not getting 225 if something like that happens. So, yeah, I think he goes ahead and gets that done. But it's to be seen, bro. I don't know where his head is. And so it just really depends on what that looks like. I had people talk about, you know, well, maybe he takes a discount. He ain't taking much of a discount than past that. You're not getting Jaren Jackson for 4 years, 150. You're not getting that.
You already missed out 200 million. That man ain't taking that much. You ain't doing that. Like, come on. It's a business end of the day. You ain't doing that, bro. Nah.
Yeah. So let's say, let's go with your theory, right? Let's say he does say, you know what? Nah, I'm gonna bet on myself. Screw that renegotiation. I'm gonna get my 23 million. I'm gonna be happy, and I'm gonna look to get a big payday next season. I'm gonna bank on myself getting all NBA or a D-port next year. At that point,
Mm-hmm.
let's say he either gets it or maybe he still misses it, but he can go out and test the waters on the free market and still get probably more than 250, maybe 265, 270. At that point, if the Grizzlies can't or not willing to pay that, are you cool with letting him walk?
For sure. Well, my core answer is yes, but that's if we underperform again next year. If we go to West Conference Finals next year, excuse me, of course not. But if we continue, if we see no like progression into what this team can do, then yes, walk. Then I'll just round with Ja and give Ja a real co-star. Like as long as like I'm kind of like you. I'm not. Of course, I'm mostly attached to everybody on the team. I'm a Grizzly fan, but I care about production and who does the best job to make the name on the front of the jersey be successful, which is whoever is in that jersey. I don't care if it's Ja, Jaren, anybody. You can me and you start out there hooping. I'll be cool if we give buckets, even though that ain't happening. Like, so I'll be cool with it if we continue doing what we're doing. If Jaren's player production continues what it is. When you said that, I wanted to look up the stats just so I can have it for sure. You were right. 15-7 was Jaren's playoff numbers. Well, 15 and 6.8 exactly. Ja's playoff numbers, for example, in 5 less games, but 5 less games, it's 26 points, 8.1 assists, and 6.2 rebounds.
It's not a
So
discussion. Whose thing this
Ja's
is?
averaging Ja's averaging 0.6 less rebounds. Yep. No, actually, I was wrong. 6.5 rebounds and 6.2 rebounds. So only a 0.3 rebound difference between your 7-footer and your 6'2" guard. So come on, man. Like when it comes to money, money means production. If you ain't putting the production out there, you can find it somewhere else, dog. Like, and I'm saying that as a person that wants Jerry Jackson Jr. on this team. I'm not gonna put out there like I'm actively saying that he needs to go. I'm not saying that at all. But and I'm kind of with JD on this. I kind of want to get your opinion on this. If he isn't making, because I think he will build himself, and I don't. I feel like it's a good possibility he does what you say, and like I wouldn't be surprised at all. But I feel like he may hear the noise, like, hey, these hoes talking on my game. I've been underperforming. Let me lock in. But if we aren't seeing that, like I'm cool with trading if we can get Ja real number 2, because I go off of what I've seen. I haven't seen him be a true co-star yet.
Not in the playoffs. Not when it counts.
Not when it counts. You feel me? And I have to go off. So I said this last week. I said this whole thing about Steph Curry or whatever team has a puncher's chance. I feel like we have a puncher's chance if Ja Morant is on the floor. I genuinely believe that because I feel like Ja Morant is that damn good. But if Jaren does what he needs to do this year into next year, I am more than okay with him leaving, and that just frees up more cap space. I hope we trade. I hope we get something back for him. Obviously, I hope we
for
trade
sure.
for him.
They ain't gonna let him go for nothing.
Yeah,
no.
Let's go off of let's talk about it in that circumstances, obviously. But if we can get off of his contract to bring on some value to get Ja a real co-star, I'm fine. Like I said this when the season first ended. The only 4 guys that I want for sure on this team, like non-negotiable for the next years to come, is Ja, Edie, Scotty, and Jalen Wills. Like, of course, Gigi. I was how I get up about Gigi, but just what I saw about last year with Gigi. Like Gigi, me and Chris both support you. We both want you to be great, but you got to get some things together. So outside of those 4 guys, I'm really cool on whoever, honestly, because clearly this team has some roster construction issues, some personnel issues. So we got to move some furniture around. So if Jaren Jackson Jr. is the first big domino to fall, so be it.
Yep. I saw I'm working on my ability to not engage on dumb shit, right? I'm trying, bro. I'm working on it. I feel like I'm getting better. I see it and I just either put my phone down or move on and do something else. It's not even like I used to have an itch like Chris, like, no, argue or say something back. And it's like,
I don't even
no, bro. I'm through. I'm done.
Too just toxic.
But I did see a comment that said that people, when you critique Jaren, your basketball intelligence comes into play for Jaren stands. I'm not gonna call them Jaren fans, but Jaren stands, they will tell you that you don't know basketball and you're looking at this wrong and you're only looking at offense, you don't care about defense and all this other stuff. Anyway, whatever. You're wrong, but whatever.
Say what you want to say.
But I saw a tweet where someone said basically that if you get rid of Jaren, you are not thinking about defense. And right now in the NBA, the most important thing is not perimeter defense. It's at the rim, like rim protection or rim defense. And I was like, yeah, this person is not watching
You
basketball.
don't watch
And the
basketball in
sliders agree.
2025. In
Like
2025, nah,
it's no
nah.
way, because it's no way you look at the Indiana Pacers and say that with all those wing defenders that they have. It's no way you look at OKC. We just talked about them, even though ESPN saying they 6'5" and under. Like, it's no way you look at them and say that Chet and Isaiah Hartenstein, they're decent at rim defense, but half the time you're not even getting to the goddamn rim with them because they perimeter defenders are doing what they got to do. The Boston Celtics, we know the perimeter defense that they had. Going a step further to even combat that, the Cleveland Cavaliers had the twin towers of the NBA when it comes to rim protection, and they got basically mollywopped by the Indiana Pacers in the last round. Let's not be crazy and delusional about this Jaren thing, y'all. He is a generation. Almost dropped my F-bomb again.
Whoa.
He is. I'm taking that out.
Whoa. I was like,
he is a high level.
Yeah.
Help side defender. Because a generational help side defender sounds crazy as hell. Like, what is that?
I'm like, that's crazy. Like, what? I had to stop. I was like, look, Chris, hold on for a second. Before you say what you're going to say, let's think about it for a second.
He's a high-level help side defender. He comes up and cleans up stuff. He's not out there defending the team's best player, whether he's in the post or on the perimeter. So all of this, well, he's such a great, like stop, y'all. Like, stop. Like, he helps the defense. He's trying to clean up some stuff at the rim. But that's not what this is. Like, y'all overweight this stuff way too much. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
But all these other teams don't have this. Or the teams that do, they're not winning. So, like, let's stop overrating stuff. Like, we need wing defenders. You got Ja Morant out there. If you want to keep Desmond Bane, I love his three-point shooting. I love him as a leader on this team and everything. You got to get some wing defenders on this squad, bro. And if you're going to have Edey, you need to start working with him as a coaching staff to be the rim protector. He's 7'4", 7'5". Like, you don't need two of those guys out there, because clearly it don't work for any other team that's tried it. So that, it's just kind of weird, bro. So, like, I'm 100% with you. If it gets to a point to where you start off next season, and I think he's gonna come out, looking different, or at least back to what he did at the start of this season. I think Isolo is a smart guy that's right now like tweaking his offense that he had in Europe to include them too. But like somebody said early on, I can't remember. Yeah, it was JD. He talked about he's got to get more involved in the pick and roll. Somebody was saying like, oh yeah, the reason why he don't rebound because he's out on the perimeter, or he's letting the guards get the rebounds. Like, at a certain point, bro, we got to stop making excuses. Basketball is basketball. You go out there and set the screens with Ja. Like, just go out there and set the screen. You talk to him and say, Ja, I'm coming to set the screen. Let's work on our pick and roll. Let's go to the gym and practice it, in our off time. Whatever the case you got to do. But like, he has to get more involved with his point guard, especially if we're talking about paying you this money and you basically designating you is the number two. You have to do more to ingratiate yourself in the team and not be so focused on, I'm getting the ball at the perimeter, albeit we have no point guard or guard that can make a post entry pass. We understand that. I don't understand it, but we understand where we are.
I don't get it at all.
But if it's not you getting the ball at the perimeter and everybody clearing out and basically letting you go ISO, if that's all that we're going to do, we clearly have seen that teams are going to double team you. And like I've been saying since he's been here, Jaren does not have the basketball IQ, both offensively or defensively, to stay out of foul trouble, but offensively to work out of that double team effectively to help the team.
Yeah.
And so, or help himself. So, yeah, bro, it's going to have to be a lot of changes in that regard for him next year to be successful. And like y'all said, I mean, if it gets to a point to where it's not looking right for him and for this team, you're probably going to have to look at trading and getting some kind of value back.
Yeah, you're going to have to.
It's just kind of where it is.
Yeah, it's just the day and age of the revolving door of the NBA. Like, when things don't work, you try for 5, 6, 7, 8 years, but if it doesn't work, you got to do what you got to do. Like, We
Yeah, like
saw
when is enough? That'd be my question.
yeah,
Like people like
that's
we all stay together 15 years. When is long enough?
like what's I'm gonna ask because you already know this because you grew up in a black household with a black father and a black mother. So what's the definition of insanity? Because I know you guys drilled this when you was a kid.
Man, doing the same thing over and over, thinking you're gonna get another result. It just ain't gonna happen.
Exactly. Exactly my point. Like, if we're just gonna expect keep running out the same core and it's still not working, we're just insane as a franchise and insane as fans. So, do I want it to work with these guys? Obviously, I do because I'm a Grizzly fan
Right.
and I I see the talent they have on the floor. But we need better than 15 and 6.5 in the playoffs, bro. Like, because I kind of rolled my eyes when you said that like he's gonna come out different. Yeah, we've seen him come out different, but
You
it's
got
gonna
finished different too.
matter yeah, like it gotta matter when the playoffs get different. When
Mm-hmm.
you run up against Anthony Davis and Nikola Jokic and Joel Embiid, like all these guys that have
Right.
more times than not ate your lunch, like we need Jaren to be that guy. Like there's two bigs in your division that people would take over you right now. Wimby and Anthony Davis, like undoubtedly. And you saw Sengun got more votes over you. Like
Man,
that's
you ask some people may take Sangoon. I don't know if I would. A
yeah.
lot of people would. So
But
yeah.
you see, those guys, Sangoon got one more vote than him. I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't say Sangoon, but that's three guys, not even in your conference, in your division,
Right.
at position that people think. And those are all teams that we may see in a playoff series one day because they're all going to be competitive next year. So it gets to a
Shit.
point.
Hey, if he healthy, these people would take Zion, but Zion can't stay healthy. So
Yeah,
that's another
exactly.
one.
That's
Good God.
four. That's
Yeah,
four
dog.
guys, bro,
Yeah.
in your division that people would arguably take over you. So it gets to the point where like, what type of player do you want to be? Do you want a player that's, or what type of player do you want to be for Jaren? What as a fan base? What type of player do you want? For as a fan base, my question to you, Chris, I know what you want to say, but I'm saying rhetorically, and everyone else in the chat, do you want a player that's gonna be okay when it really matters, or are you gonna be a guy, or do you want a guy that's gonna make a difference when it matters and be the Robin to John Moran's Batman? And right now, that question is up in the air because he hasn't proven to be a Robin when he's needed to be.
Mm-hmm.
So if that thing doesn't happen, I can't be mad at all. I am a Jaren Jackson fan. Chris is too. But we gotta call it how it is too, because this whole delusion, like we're still young and just give him more time, bro. Like that talk is long over. Like I'm so tired of that. Like I am so tired of that narrative. Like, oh, they're still young. Like yada 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 yada. Bro, it's time to play ball, bro. Like
Been
this,
time.
I'm young. I'm young BS, bro. Like I'm look at JD because JD said something smart. I'm not a baseball fan, but I know what he's talking about. He said 2000 the Cardinals traded All Star Kobe Ramos like to address some glaring issues. Most people are expendable. Like, and JD is correct. Like in basketball, in the workplace, in life, most people in life, most people are expendable unless you're the top 1% in the world. Hey man, if you're not doing what you do, somebody will do your job for you.
That's a
So
fact.
come on, Jan. Like it's time. Like, yo, you didn't get your bread, bro. What you gonna do about it? Like that's literally when it comes down to how you gonna respond. It's not about how you get knocked down, it's how you respond. And Jaren lost $200 million this off season because he didn't take care of his business last year on the court. So what you gonna do about it?
It's totally up to him, man. Ball is in his court.
Facts. He holds
I
all the
know
cards.
he hold all of them. I know King Mix was talking about, the main question being what is the front office gonna do this summer? They got moves, bro, that they're gonna have to make. We'll figure out, obviously pretty soon which way they go. Because I believe it, going back to what I was talking about earlier with the whole, renegotiation and then extension, they will have to do that before they do anything with Santi Aldama, because that's
Yeah.
including a Santi Aldama cap hole. So what that means is with the $7 million of cap space you have, if you do that, you go ahead, you kill all of that, you use all of that on a renegotiation, and then from that point, you still have the ability, I believe, to sign and trade Santi, which is fine. I think that's what needs to happen. We have enough. I mean, he's not really a big anyway. He's basically a big wing, but he don't play like a
Yeah.
big wing, if that makes sense, at least defensively. So you got to do something with him. I believe at that point you would still have the mid-level exception that you can use up to 14.3 or 14 point something $1 million that you can get a really good player in free agency. And then from there, it's about, it's a bunch of guys that are going to be available at the vet minimum that you can add maybe as a backup center. Depending on what you do with the MLE, depending on what you do with that sign and trade, if you decide to do that, which you got to, you can't go up there at the end of the season and say, we have to have dogs on this team and bring back the same team. And a big part of it is going to be Santi Aldama because he's going to take up a lot of money. And so I think you have to sign and trade him. You got to use that MLE, and you got to go get you a vet minimum guy, maybe even two. You want to know one guy that it probably ain't going to happen, bro.
Who's that?
Because just of the way I believe that his exit went. But I would love to get him in addition to another vet minimum guy. And it would be DeAnthony Melton. He's gonna be on the vet minimum next year.
I would love D-Milk back on the team. You know how I get about D-Milk. You should know who I was gonna say. Like, that's one of the few guys that I wish was still on the team that I look back fondly. Like, I know the team rocked with him and the city rocked with him, so I would love D-Milk to come back. like, we need vets that understand the city and understand that they're dogs. If we use Zach Kleiman's lingo, do all that and just play ball. Like, we don't have a lot of hoopers or like straight up basketball players on our team. Like, and I understand some people may not understand what I'm saying, but the people that understand what I'm saying understand what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these teams that are playing well right now because they have a lot of basketball players that they just know how to hoop and make winning plays. Like, I'm not even going to mention the stars on either of the teams. We have guys like on Indiana, you have like Aaron Neesmith, Miles Turner, Benedict McIntyre, like
Nembhard.
Nembhard's playing his tail off right now. Like, guys that come from good stock from college.
We could have had Nembhard instead of Kennedy Chandler, right?
We could have had we could have had we could have had Nembhard. I just thought about that. We did. Anyway, that's neither here or there. I don't even know where Kennedy Chandler is right now. Shout out Kennedy. But I don't know where you are right now. Anyway, like, you go to OKC. I'm not even gonna say Shea Jealous Williams. You got Aaron Wiggins, who didn't play, which is kind of weird. Carson Wallace, like Isaiah Hartenstein, like the other Jalen Williams. Like, bro, like, you just got guys that just know how to play their role and hoop, and they don't see basketball as a science. They look at it as a game that you just gotta have the will to win. And that's what I feel like we've been missing on this team. Like, guys like Santi, I know Keen Mix talk about the comments, like Luke. Yeah, they're good at playing basketball, but are they true basketball players? No. And if we get some more basketball players, some more hoopers on this team, we will see something. Like,
you even look at the draft, bro. You look at Minnesota in the playoffs, they got Terrence Shannon Jr. getting minutes now.
Yeah.
Straight hooper though.
Straight play defense and just get to the bucket, bro. Like, that's it. Like, hasn't really got minutes the whole season. But he's proven his value.
If you scouted him in the draft, you knew what he was.
Yeah, you knew exactly. Like, saying like Dante DiVincenzo, like, no matter what stop he's on, like, he's played in multiple situations with multiple coaches and multiple stars around him, but he just knows how to be valuable. Knocks down shots, plays good defense, he makes the right pass here, and he's not gonna do too much because he just knows his role. He knows how to play basketball. Like, we need guys like that on this team. Like, I feel like, and we get, because we're at over an hour, and I know we both got work in the morning, so I ain't gonna try to host too long. But
for sure,
I feel like people try to make basketball a little bit too complicated, and I feel like this team has tried to really, really, really overcomplicate how to build a successful team. Like, I was looking at this like social media video or TikTok or something. It was like the worst like archetype to build a successful team around is the athletic guard, and they just went down lists of like Russell Westbrook, John Wall, and Derrick Rose, and they just went down the list of like athletic guards, and then they of course talked about Ja. And the reason why I didn't agree with that video because context matters in a lot of those situations. In all those situations, those teams didn't effectively surround those athletic guards with proper people to be successful. Like, the only team that was closest was, of course, OKC with Russ and KD, but Russ wasn't the best player. And of course, Derrick Rose in Chicago. The reason why Derrick Rose in Chicago was so good,
perfect, bro.
like, that team was built top to bottom, like perfect around D. Where they had a few shooters, they had Kurt Heinrich, Luol Deng, they had a whole bunch of guys that can play defense. Like, it's not a hard formula. If you have a dynamic guard, or at least a dynamic scorer, all you need is a few guys to play defense, some wings that can defend and rebound, and some bigs that can crash. Like, it's not a complicated game, bro. Like, I'm 21 and I haven't watched basketball nearly as long as you have, but we can both see that it's not that complicated,
It's
dog.
simple.
It's simple. And when people start overthinking and try to stop thinking like as a science or a formula and analytics and yada yada, like, yes, analytics matter, yeah, yada yada, but just get some guys that know how to put the ball in the basket and know how to rotate properly and just have a feel for the game. Because not a lot of guys on this team have a feel for the game like that. And that's what we're missing. And I'm gonna get off my soapbox because, yeah, but I had to get off my chest because it irritates me a lot when we have these talking points about who should and should not be here, but it just overcomplicates it when it doesn't really have to be, you know?
Yeah. And then we're gonna end it on this, man. Like, it kind of goes to the point that you're saying. You look at a team like the Pacers, like, that's why, like I said, I'm not really entertaining people that don't know what they're talking about no more. It's just not, I don't have the energy to go back and forth. But, like, you can't tell me that Obi Toppin was a prized possession coming from the Knicks a few years ago.
Yeah, bro.
You want to play him like that. But the Pacers saw a skill set and said, okay, if he can just do this with us, he'll be a player. They go get him. They draft Nembhard. They, Naismith was on the bench.
Yeah, in Boston. They traded him. They traded him to Indiana. Like, come on, bro.
You have to be able to have the foresight of either what a guy's gonna become, or be able to pinpoint a skill set to say, okay, if we just allow him to do this with us and empower him to do this with us, he'll be a very key component of what we're trying to do over here. It's not always about stats. It's not always about name and all of that, bro. Like, basketball is simple as hell if you just identify key skills and put them and surround them with the right people. And so that's what Kleiman has to do this summer. And if he decides to bring it back how it is and say again that he unintentionally brought the same team back, he'll say some crazy shit like that next year. Yeah, man, I unintentionally brought the same team back. I didn't try to do it, but shit, it just happened, man. I just how did this happen, bro? Like
I'll
what?
Give you started, bro. I'll give you started. It's late,
what you
bro.
Mean it was unintentional?
What you mean?
Yeah, I ain't got one.
We looked at the roster and we just was really confident in our guys, and it just kind of happened like that, bro. Like,
it just happened, man.
It happened, man.
Screw it, man.
Screw it. We got
Cam Spencer's a grizzly bear. Screw it. That's all we needed, man. I thought really hard about it, and I was like, man, I'm tripping, man. I'm tripping. What's going on?
We got Cam Spencer. He'll fight the grizzly bear by himself. We'll be good.
Everybody on Grizz Twitter, but man, screw you guys, man. I know what I'm talking about. Bro. All right, bro.
Let's do it on, bro.
Yeah, man. We're gonna get up out of here. It was another good episode. Hopefully we'll have some other news. There was some little tidbits or rumors, fake rumors, whatever you want to say that came out this week. I ain't gonna give them no talk because once it happened, we'll get there. He's like, gave him a contract, but I don't know why they signed him.
That was a good one. Shout out my boy JD, bro. You funny, dog.
Hey, man, that might be the funniest fucking. Oh, excuse me. That might be the funny. Oh, man, I almost made it. I'm sorry. That might be the funniest climbing bit I think I've ever.
This why we get out. This why we get out the network.
That might say I gave him a contract, but I don't know what they signed. Every climbing, bro. Go to sleep, bro. What you talking about, bro? What you mean?
What you mean? You don't know why they signed it?
Man, that's money, so funny, JD, bro. Oh my God.
You funny as hell, dude.
Man, that's hilarious right there. That might be the funniest climbing meme statement ever, bro. I ain't gonna hold you. Oh God. All right, man. We're gonna get up out of here. Man, appreciate y'all. It's late, about to be midnight on this good Memorial Day, on Memorial Night. So hope y'all had a great holiday. Again, appreciate y'all tapping in with us late tonight. Be y'all catching on the replay. We appreciate y'all running it back. And yeah, man, we'll be back next week. Should be on time. Like I said, it was the holidays, had some things going on. But we definitely appreciate y'all for sure. Miss Brown. Salute.
Appreciate you, Miss
Appreciate
Brown.
you.
Salute
Thank
to
you
you.
so much for coming and tapping in with us tonight. King Meeks, JD. I'm trying to run through. We got Fury Styles, Shamaria, Smooth Southpaw, Brandon, and everybody, like I said, is coming back on the playback. We appreciate y'all as well, man. Y'all definitely, like I said, keep us going and allowed us just to feel like, we doing something right over here. As long as y'all rock with us, that's all that matters. I don't care if nobody else don't rock with it. Y'all rock with it, so we rock with y'all. We appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Like we always say, man, do this week. Make sure y'all do something that makes y'all feel happy, that puts a smile on your face, that makes you feel good. That's all that matters. We're gonna do the same this way. We will catch y'all next week, same time, same place. And as we always say, go Grizz.
Go Grizz.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the No Bluffing Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. For comprehensive coverage of all things Memphis sports, head over to www.bluffcitymedia.co and find out how you can become an insider. We will see you back here next week.
Frozen ad, dude.